just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% your teacher. And I hope that you guys are having a great time at home. But guess what? I miss you guys so much. But guess what? This is all in preparation for you to go on to the third grade because you cannot stay with me another year. Okay? You cannot stay with Mr. Beard another year. You have to go on to third grade. So today, what I want to do is discuss with you how we are going to relate something that we learned in second grade to third grade material. By the end of it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Mr. V, I did not know I could do that. All right, so it is second grade math with Mr. Bear. It is second grade math with Mr. Bear. All right, so let's jump right into it because I do not want to keep you long. So, what we are talking about today are arrays. And what do we know arrays to be? Before I click the slide, arrays are an arrangement of objects into rows and columns. An arrangement of objects into rows and columns. So, who can tell me what a row is? What a row is? Who can remind me what a row is? So, a row are those things that go left to right. Left to right. If you can see my arrow is pointing left to right. All right, so in a row goes left to right. So if a row goes left to right, then a column must go up and down. Up and down. One way that you can remember it is if you stick your arms out. Stick your arms out. Stick your arms out like Mr. Bear has his arms stuck out. Stick your arms out. And once you have it, then stick your arms out. Stick your arms out. All right. So those are rows. But if you stand up, then they are columns. Stand up with your arms glued to your side. Those are columns. All right. So let's go ahead and practice and see what it is. All right, so this array represents 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Now we know that that is a repeated addition equation. So because that is a repeated addition equation, then it must mean that it is waiting for an answer at the end. So let's look at the rows. Let's identify how many rows this array has. So if you look at it, it has 5 rows and 3 columns. Let's look at the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 5 rows. Let's look at the columns. It has 1, 2, 3. It has 3 columns because those columns go up and down. All right, so the essential question is, how many objects does this array have? How many objects does this array have? So I'm going to give you a few seconds to count the amount of objects in the array. So the array has 15 objects. All right, so that means that 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. It equals 15. If you got it, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, let's move on to another one. So this array represents 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And it has 4 rows and 4 columns. Let's look at it. Let's look at the rows. 1, because they're going left to right. 2, 3, 4. So it has 4 rows. Let's look at the columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 columns. So the question that we must ask ourselves is, how many total objects does this array have? I'm going to give you some time to count. This array has 16 objects. This array has 16 objects. All right, so that must mean that 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 16. Let's try another one. All right. This array represents 4 plus 4, and it has 2 rows and 4 columns. Let's look at our rows. 1, 2, 2 rows, and 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, how many total objects does this array have? How many total objects does this array have? This array has 8 total objects. It has 8 total objects. Let's try another one. I'll go up here. So this object represents 3 plus 3 plus 3. And it has 3 rows and 3 columns. Let's look at it. Let's look at the rows. 1, 2, 3. And it has 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. All right. So our question: how many total objects does this array have? How many total objects does this array have? What is 3 plus 3 plus 3? Three plus 3 plus 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. So there are 9 total objects in the array. Let's look at this one. This array represents 2 plus 2 plus 2. It has 2 rows and 3 columns. Let's look at the rows. 1, 2. Columns. 1, 2, 3. So, how many total objects does this array have? The array represents 1, 2 plus 2 plus 2. It represents 6 objects. How many total objects? 6 objects. It represents 6 objects. Let's do one more. This array represents 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And it has 2 rows and 5 columns. Right now, what I want you to do is take a moment to swipe your hand across the screen so that you can touch the rows. Do that now. Touch the 2 rows. If you went this way, over, and this way over. You are correct. That is 2 rows. I wanted you to take a moment to swipe your hand across the 5 columns. If you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you are correct. Now we must ask ourselves, how many total objects does this array have? Take the time to count that now. This array has 10 total objects. 10 total objects. So you said, Mr. Bed, that we were going to relate our repeated addition equations and our arrays to something in 3rd grade. So let's do that. All right, so here's our practice for 3rd grade. How does this array relate to multiplication? So we have this array of apples, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 3 rows and 2 columns. 1, 2. All right, so 3 plus 3 plus 3 represents this array. Well, I see a little mistake. Back like I never left. All right, so look at this, guys. All right, so the equation is 2 plus 2 plus 2. Mr. Bear makes mistakes too. The equation is 2 plus 2 plus 2 because that is the amount I have in my rows. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is the same thing as multiplying 3 times 2. Why? Because you're multiplying 2 3 times. Okay? So I want you to think about that. Just have it in your mind. You don't have to worry about it now because you're still in the 2nd grade. All right. So thank you, scholars. And remember to follow us on YouTube as we will be delivering more content and more videos for you guys as you are at home reviewing your lessons. I love you guys. And as always, I'll see you soon. Play out the coupe at the lot, turn up 12 SWAT, buzzing all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick.